A smartphone is not like an ordinary mobile phone. In fact, it's more like a pocket computer. Data about a smartphone's location are captured in different ways. First, by phone masts. All mobile phones automatically connect to the nearest phone mast, as this is the way they send and receive calls and text messages. The mast stores information about which phone has registered and when, and phone service providers are required by European law to keep that information for 6 months. Many European countries also have laws which permit but regulate how law enforcement agencies can access and use the information from phone masts. This form of location tracking cannot be turned off by the user. Smartphone users can also choose to connect their phone to GPS satellites and wireless networks. This means that they can use particular apps or have better internet access. But it also means that their location can be tracked more accurately. This data is available to law enforcement agencies as well. However, this form of location tracking can be turned off by the phone user. We asked a range of experts for their opinions on the benefits and the limitations of smartphone location tracking.
The tracking capability of a smartphone is as much an empowering technology as it is a surveillance technology. That is, on my smartphone, I'm able to discover my location. And I can share it, I can pinpoint on a map where I am, and I could embed within a photo where this photo was taken, which I find highly useful.
The ability to be tracked can actually be a very positive safety aspect, and also in terms of the security for the movement of expensive goods or high-risk goods.
Authorities and private security sector actors also may use it for tracking criminals, tracking suspects.
It enables law enforcement agencies to locate suspects in a particular place and at a particular point in time. So it can help to solve a crime. But it also enables them to track a suspect, and that may prevent a crime being carried out in the future.
Some phone developers have intentionally enabled the customer to make choices by making the phone vulnerable to third-party applications that then use the services inbuilt in it without the consent and without the knowledge of the person concerned.
You may have Facebook free of charge, you may be using Twitter free of charge. The deal that you haven't really realised, because you haven't read all of the terms and conditions, is that you're giving them your data.
It's become a bit of a free-for-all where apps could get access to your location. Your camera embeds location into photos whether you like it or not.
Well, I see huge risks in mobile phone location tracking. First of all, one can think of a scenario where criminal networks infiltrate a mobile phone operator. Then we see exploitative business opportunities, including because so many minors carry smartphones that they can be trapped into using location services which cost them a lot of money. And then we have the conflation between mobile phone operators and an oppressive government, curtailing political opposition by tracking people's locations and finding out who is meeting whom, when and where.
In Germany, a little while ago, in Dresden, there was a large demonstration of people, and the police demanded cell tower records from telephone service providers, and we have a huge group of innocent people whose data was collected. There were a few individuals that the police wanted to target, but they applied a very broad measure for that.
The technology is quite addictive. All the time, location services are developed which we find highly useful. We not only find our way, we also find the way which is less congested by traffic, etc. So we start to enjoy those services, and that makes us at the same time very vulnerable.
The debate has turned into, well, if you care about your privacy, you shouldn't do X, Y, or Z. I refute that debate. I think that's not at all the way it should be. The way it should be is that I want to use all these services, I want to do all these things, and I still want my privacy. And that can be done.
That could be called privacy by design. Intentional blurring of the signal in certain sensitive locations, let's say religious institutions, gay clubs.
And some of the companies and some of the policies out there are emerging that allow us to have both the functionality and our privacy and security.
Consumer power is important with our mobile phones. That's a huge industry, and the applications that flow from people's use of mobile phones are even a bigger industry. So location tracking is really a moneymaker for so many different kinds of business. And I see it very likely that our own choices must be respected.
And so as a user, you should demand more from these services. And for what it's worth, when we've seen consumers demand more, these companies are compelled to respond.